Breaks down all the confirmed qualifiers for the 2026 World Cup. Will feature an expanded 48-team format. Here's the latest on who's qualified and who's in the hunt. Morocco is first country which has qualified World Cup 2026. Morocco will return to the world stage in 2026 after breezing through their qualifying campaign to claim one of CAF's 9 places at next summer's tournament. Second, Colombia has qualified for World Cup 2026. Colombia are back in the World Cup after their 3-0 win over Bolivia sealed a return to a tournament they last featured in 2018. On third, Paraguay. Country has waited 15 years to get back into the World Cup has come to an end, thanks to results that went in their favor on September 4, namely Venezuela losing 3-0 to Argentina on 4th. Uruguay has qualified for World Cup. The original World Cup winners sealed their qualification after beating Peru 3-0 on September 4. On 5th, Ecuador has qualified for World Cup. Had to wait until 2002 to make their World Cup debut, but 2026 will mark their 5th appearance at the finals after a qualification campaign that saw them overcome a 3-point deduction to secure a top 6 finish in the CONMEBOL table. On 6th, Brazil has qualified for World Cup, securing their 23rd straight appearance in the world's biggest sporting event. On 7, Australia has qualified for World Cup. Australia are into their 6th successive World Cup after beating Saudi Arabia to the final automatic spot in AFC Group C. On 8, Jordan have qualified for the first ever World Cup after they beat Iraq in June 2025 to attain a top 2 finish in Group B of the 3rd round of AFC qualifying. On 9th, South Korea have qualified for their 11th consecutive World Cup as they look to go one better compared to the last tournament when they lost to Brazil in the last 16. On 10th, Uzbekistan have qualified for their first ever World Cup, having finished in the top 2 in Group A of the AFC's 3rd round of qualifiers. On 11th, Argentina has qualified for World Cup. It was never really in doubt, but Argentina will officially be able to defend their crown in 2026 after securing progression from CONMEBOL qualifying. On 12, Iran have sealed their spot at a 4th successive World Cup as they aim to go beyond the group stage at the finals for the first time in their history. On 13, New Zealand will be heading to the World Cup for the 3rd time in their history after securing qualification from the OFC section. On 14th, Japan have qualified for a 7th consecutive World Cup, having booked their place by finishing top of their group in the AFC 3rd round of qualifying. Mexico, Canada, and United States has directly qualified because they are hostile country. Which is your favorite team? Do comment and subscribe.